apprentice. These are the villains we hated and loved. And tonight, the game show crew tackles all of them. All the villains we loved throughout the years, and honestly, sometimes the character that made the game worth playing. This is BreakmanX, and welcome to the game show on July 15th, 2026. How's it going, Jess?
It is going well. I am now officially moved and set up in my new space, and very grateful to be like 99% unpacked at this point.
Awesome. That's fantastic. I can't wait till next week when we have the wider screen and we can see your books, because that's my favorite part of your new setup. And Daria, how are you doing this evening?
Pretty good. George already wants to say hi. Nothing really too much, except I've got them a new cat tree, so it's supposed to arrive in a couple days, but it's red and black, so it'll fit more with like the vibe of the game room.
Nice.
So, very nice.
Nice.
But yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm still a bit of exhausted from the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That was quite a thing, which we'll, talk about soon. But I did want to show off again my Cyndaquil, now that I'm a Pokemon fan. That Jess gave me during the party. So hard. There we go. Oh yeah. There we go. No, it was totally meant to be. He's my little pal sitting here hanging out with me. So, and when you said George for your cat, I heard Jar Jar, but I know it's not Jar Jar.
No, it's George.
No, I know. Believe me, I know. All right. Well, it's girls' night tonight, and I'm cool with that. So, I'm sure Jack and the fellas will be back next week. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into the news. Jess, do you want to start us out?
Yes, so I only have one little bit of news, which is that there's going to be a new hide-and-seek event with Zora in Pokopia, I think starting next week, which is super exciting, and I finally have a Switch too, so I'm going to actually get to play that and experience it, so I'm very much looking forward to it.
That is exciting. I'm excited if you get to check it out. What's not as exciting is my news. So I don't know. I titled it in our show notes the Microsoft Bloodbath, and I know we've talked about this kind of periodically, but I just wanted to get into it a little bit here since we've been off for a week. But on July 6th, Microsoft eliminated 4,800 jobs company-wide, with Xbox losing about 1/5 of its staff, 3,200 people. 1,600 immediately, and then the rest throughout the year as a nice little going away, I guess. CEO Asha Sharma called it the most significant restructure in Xbox history, and it's pretty awful. Ninja Theory was closed. It's closing just 9 days after appearing at the Xbox Games Showcase. Ninja Theory, which, was a team that they touted for years and years and years. And then Compulsion Games and Double Fine are also in closure or buyout. Undead Labs is under review. Arcane Lion is reportedly facing closure, along with the outright cancellation of Marvel's Blade. Compulsion is already independent and scrambling for new partners, and the Elder Scrolls Online team was gutted. The underlying macro story is, well, I shouldn't say that, because that's what I wrote for my notes. But the AI-driven DRAM shortage is really what's causing all of this, or a lot of it, because it pushed component costs to multiple times their 2025 levels, which is not good. So, preventing Xbox from making enough consoles for the holidays, Microsoft spends over $100 billion on AI infrastructure. I also heard her say something like they've been losing 40 cents on the dollar for quite a while, which obviously is not sustainable. Weird thing though. Phil Spencer is now advising the Federal Reserve on the economic impact of new technologies such as AI. So, this is probably part of that impact that he's talking about, but just a sad time in the industry with lots of studios. This was the thing I talked about on the first show, by the way, back in 2002, Microsoft coming in, gobbling up companies, and then kind of destroying them as with layoffs and all this, and making them something else. So, not to say I told you so, but it did take a very long time. It's just sad. It's a sad time. I think we'll come back. I don't know what's going to happen with Xbox, though. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Really nuts. Yeah. Really nuts. Really nuts. Also, Nintendo's killing the original Switch in 2027. The article said that the Switch 2 will be the only mass-produced hardware, and there's supposedly a Switch 2 OLED that is going to be tested. There is a model for sure that has a slight screen change that they're testing, but I'd read that that's more of like the other part wasn't going to be available in mass, so they had to switch parts. Wasn't really much of an upgrade. Rhythm Heaven Groove out July 2nd is the final first-party game for the Switch 1, which is the end of an era for the best-selling console. I put Conversation because PS2 still technically beats it, although there's some debate as to how Sony delivered those numbers. Apparently that number grows and has grown many years after the PS2 is gone, saying that they'd forgotten to report certain sales. So it's kind of debatable as to where that actually is. Final bit of news for me. Ubisoft had some good and some bad. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced launched with 2 million copies sold with positive reviews, and then Ubisoft Barcelona, which worked on the underwater sections, went on strike to protest 51 staff being laid off just days after the millions were gathered. So,
which is wild.
Yeah.
And not too far from the norm, unfortunately, at the present.
And like, just so looking at the game, it looks really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes, but there's money that can be made if you fire people, because then you have to pay them.
Without those people, you wouldn't have the game.
But they already have the game.
Well,
I agree with you. I'm just being difficult. But no, it's sad, and that's one of the things that I will always like about Nintendo. They have many of the same people working there that have worked there since the 80s on the very first console, unless they've retired. But there's lots of people that are still working there for so many years, and it's unfortunate that we're not getting that with the other companies. But go Switch. So welcome to the game show. We've been doing this since 2002, one of the first video game podcasts ever made. We ran for over a decade, took a long break, and came back in 2025 because we couldn't stay away. I'm BreakmanX, and every week I'm joined by a mix of the original crew and all new blood tonight to talk about the games we're playing, the news shaping the industry, and whatever else we can't shut up about. If you're into gaming, pull up a chair. You're in the right place. If you like what we're talking about and you like what's going on, give us a like and subscribe. If you have your YouTube follows set to public, a big thing will pop up here and it'll go da-da-da-da-da-da. So make that happen. It'd be pretty cool. We're actually on track. The subs have been gradually speeding up, but if they stay at the rate they are now, which they should speed up, assuming things continue, we should be monetized by the end of the year.
Pretty cool.
So we'll see if it stays on track with that. But help us get there. We'd appreciate it. And if you'd like to participate with us, you can just write in there below the YouTube video. I do read them. If you're watching this during the week, I do read the comments and respond to every single one of them. I realized that on YouTube Studio app, it does not show me the replies to my replies. So I found that, so I went through and replied to some of the replies to my replies this week because it didn't show them to me there. So apologize for that, but I did get to those, and I think I've got them all knocked out. So if you'd like to participate, though, go ahead and send us the message like Maximus Prime is doing right now. He says Max says the Blade license seems to be bad luck. So
unfortunately,
yeah,
yep.
Which is a big bummer because I love it, and we just can't seem to get anything actually made. I
love the Blade license too. And he said about the closing of the studios, either close them or fail them like they did Rareware. Yeah, man, I remember when Microsoft bought Rare basically from Nintendo, and everyone was like, oh, it's so terrible, they made Donkey Kong Country and GoldenEye, and then really since Microsoft bought them, they haven't done anything gigantic. Some games that I think a few people like, but nothing huge. But yes, so tonight's topic is one that I've actually been looking forward to. I look forward to all, I say that every week. But I have been looking forward to the villains one. We had to push it back a couple times because I think it was scheduled when we had guests a few times. So I am happy that we're able to get to it now. So let's go ahead and dive into it, shall we? The first one is going to be a gigantic surprise. No one's going to predict this one for my first pick, but dun, 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 Sephiroth. Sephiroth is my first pick. He's my favorite villain of all time, potentially overall, but definitely with video games. I just I don't know how much of it is in my head and how much actually exists within the game. It's impossible for me to separate those things, but I love Sephiroth's journey, from being this legendary soldier that everyone loves to being a homicidal madman, doing horrific things that you hate. And it's just very interesting. I love the ties into the ancient mythology of the world and all of that. I wrote a paper on it back in college as well. But I just really love Sephiroth. I mentioned a few times, I think, but I had contacts for his eye color when I was in middle school and high school because I wanted to and that also became the BreakmanX color. It's very close to the Mako eyes. So Sephiroth. All right, Jess, what's your first pick?
So mine is also going to be a big surprise, which is that I'm going to go with Wesker from Resident Evil. He's just, he's such like a classic, like, action bad guy with the sunglasses and the charisma and the like real manipulative like slant to him. And he's just, unfortunately, like really cool. And I feel like I'm always a big fan of villains that like weave their way in and out of game series. And I feel like he's always been like a really good presence, even when he's not like physically there. Like even in like 2, where you're just finding like the remnants of him around Raccoon City Station. And so he's just always like one of my favorites when I think of villains.
He's one of my favorites too. And when I did the intro, I was doing it fast. I didn't even look at the list, and I was like 99% sure that you would put Wesker. So I mentioned him in the intro, just kind of knowing that he would be there. So, which is
have you gotten a chance to play 9 yet?
Have not.
Oh, okay.
I keep thinking I'm gonna play, but then I have like a video to edit or something I gotta do. So I do hope soon, because I am really excited to play it. Really excited to play it.
Well, yeah, and I want your thoughts on it, and especially in regards to Wesker, because there's a thing in the new one, and I'm curious how you feel about it.
I need to play it. I need to play it right away. All right, Daria, what's your first pick?
So my first pick is from Horizon Zero Dawn, and I wouldn't necessarily say like I feel like he is the most villain that the villain that has the most parallels to like things going on in our world, and it's Ted Faro from Horizon Zero Dawn. He is this multi-billion-dollar, probably more, individual.
So he does lots of good for humanity.
Involved in like space tech and technology, and ends up building these war robots, and yeah.
Wait a second.
And there's actually, it's just the way that you go through the story, figuring out like, okay, who is this guy? Why is his like logo everywhere? And there's actually a really cool like play on his name as you get into the second game, into Forbidden West. A really cool play on the name. But it's like he is a pivotal character for a terrible reason, and that's why he like just sticks out to me as like a villain, because it was ultimately pursuit of wealth that kind of destroyed a lot of things.
Sounds like a very unrealistic story. No, also reminds me of Sephiroth, because the whole reason he's so pitiful is because pitiful. He's definitely not pitiful. Pivotal is because of a terrible thing. And a lot of these, well, not the Nintendo ones, but a lot of the good villains do something really terrible to make you hate them.
And you find out more and more like, okay, you thought that was the worst thing that he could do, and then there's something else that tops that. And so it's just like how there was almost like no redeeming qualities in him at all.
Well, that's too bad, but I'm glad you defeated him.
Well, that's funny. You don't actually fight him.
Oh, really?
Yep.
He's kind of the person in the background. I have not played Forbidden West, as you can tell.
Well, Zero Dawn is like the one where you find out all about that primary story. But yeah, he's not a character that you fight, but he's the character that you learn a lot about. So, and it'll make more sense when you play it.
Cool. Well, at some point when I get to play games, no, I will get to play it at some point. After Resident Evil, though, because that's the priority. The next story-driven game that I play is definitely going to be the Resident Evil game, just because that's, I love Resident Evil. All right.
You'll also get through that one quicker. That one's a shorter game too.
Oh,
so
that makes me want to. That makes it easier to dive in. Is it one of those?
Yeah.
Is it like some of the other Resident Evils where you can only save at certain times? Can you always save? So that's the only thing that drives me nuts, because like having a family, you don't know when you're not gonna stop playing, and I guess I can just leave it running like the 80s, but. So
I actually have my PlayStation running right now because I'm not at a save point.
See, I just think I get why they do it, because it's a horror game and it helps up the anxiety and all that. And I get it as a gameplay mechanic, but as a practical situation, I would love if you could just save all the time.
I get that. Also, I will say that I don't think it's ever, unless you're like obviously caught like in the middle of a cutscene, it's never too terribly difficult to get back. And I think go ahead.
I was just saying Resident Evil isn't usually known for the like really long cutscenes either, like Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, I wouldn't anticipate that being like a huge problem with that game specifically. And I want to say that I got through it in like 11 hours, which could have been less if I had not been a moron at a couple key points and just completely missed very obvious key cards.
That will happen to me for sure. That happens to me all the time. I'll get stuck and then go back, and it's like the dumbest thing ever. So I still love it though, but that happened to me on Code Veronica like a lot.
Resident Evil games, I feel like it's pretty easy to happen in.
Well, you're so scared sometimes too. That makes it harder to see the key cards.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty stoked. Got Max is talking to us here. All right. So, I keep clicking it and it brings me up all these options. Okay. Ganon from Legend of Zelda is usually always good, particularly in Ocarina of Time. We might be talking about him later. Who knows? Andrew Ryan from BioShock. Yeah, I almost picked him. I almost had him on the list. Almost. Very, very close. And then he says autosaves are in RE9. So.
Oh, cool. I just didn't pay attention.
That would be great.
I was just saying, I know in Alan Wake 2 that there are like autosave points when you get into certain areas, but like when you're in the middle of a larger area, just exploring, getting stuff, like you have to go to the save points.
Yeah, I think that's because I think it probably autosaves, especially when you're switching in between player characters. That would make sense. But yeah, I think it's both.
Yeah.
Cool. The Guile theme just came on our little background music. I'm rocking out to it. All right, my next pick is one of the oldest villains who then became a hero, Donkey Kong. Doom, 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 doom. Donkey Kong, is the most stereotypical game. You're saving Pauline as Mario, which, is what it is. But Donkey Kong himself as a villain was scary, at least at the beginning. Like, he's giant. You think he could rip you apart, and he throws barrels at you, which means he's strong. We were just playing at the BreakmanX party past weekend. We played the level on Mario Kart World, which Jack loves, with Donkey Kong throwing all the things, and it's a throwback to the original Donkey Kong game, which is really cool. So Donkey Kong, again, classic villain who later turned hero, but I just felt like, also some character I don't talk about very much, so I definitely thought he needed to be on the list. So, all right, Jess, next pick.
So my next pick is going to be Flowey from Undertale. I love how just like deeply unsettling he is. I love the like small, adorable little flower thing turns out to be this evil, horrible monster at the end, and I think it's so well done, and it lures you into like such a false sense of security about him at the beginning, just for it to come back and be a significant and truly terrifying boss fight later on.
Nice. Yeah, great game.
Yes.
Great game. One I need to replay. I haven't played it forever, and I went through it pretty quickly. I feel like I didn't get everything out of it that I could have. I love the music.
Yeah, I need to go back. Obviously, I've been working through Undertale, or not Undertale, Deltarune, which has made me really want to go back and replay Undertale, because it's been several years, I think, since I've gone into Undertale itself.
Seems like a great portable game. I played it on Steam, but
it's a good one for like the Switch or the Steam Deck, I think.
Yeah. All right, Daria, what's your next pick?
This is from Alan Wake. Scratch, or the Dark Presence.
Jack would be proud.
I know.
He will be proud when he watches it. Hi, Jack. You're proud.
I haven't finished Alan Wake 2 yet. Clearly, I'm still going through it. But I don't know, like, I'm so like tense playing this game. It's just having like that doppelganger version of yourself, and just, and this is kind of more so in control and like in the people that you're running, like the Taken, but just being possessed by darkness that you're gone, like, and we still haven't like figured out where at least I haven't gotten to that point yet, where the dark presence came from, or the shadow as the FBC calls it. But I don't know, there's just something about the way that, I don't know, I guess it just keys into that, like, that fear of the dark. And like the unknown and like the corruption of that darkness. But the like
dark
the
presence.
And in control, like when it interacts with the resonance frequency, I won't say that yet because that's my next one. But it just like contorts and just like completely deforms people who aren't like protected from it. And there's, I mean, it's also hard to say because like I don't really know a lot about it. I just kind of know like tangentially like the effects of it. And it's like the people that it acts through. And I think that's part of it too, is like it doesn't really like have a form, but it can take it of any form.
The dark presence. That's my word of the day. Cool. Yep. Great game.
I feel like I'm not great at describing that, but
great game. All right, my next pick is Dr. Wily, from Mega Man, and Max is listening to some good ones. Kig DDD and Virgil from Devil May Cry. I had Virgil on mine, but then my thing got long. But back to Dr. Wily. So Dr. Wily starts out as Dr. Light's kind of assistant, and they're working together, and of course the ego takes control, and Dr. Wily wants the credit, and of course becomes like cartoonishly evil in the process, because that's just what happens, but ends up making Robot Master after Robot Master to go after Mega Man, and just like such a cartoonishly stereotypical villain. I love that he flies around in a UFO because why not, even though he's not an alien. But you fight him over and over again. At the end of every Mega Man game, he always begs you not to kill him. And Mega Man forgives him every time, and he always gets out and wreaks more havoc. The funny one is Mega Man 6, because there's a guy named Mr. X, and he has like sunglasses on, but you can tell that it's Dr. Wily. And then, of course, it's revealed at the end that it's really Dr. Wily. Mm-hmm. Oh. But I love at the end of the game where he's always like every time. Yeah. Someday Mega Man's just going to smoke him. Maybe Mega Man 12. Mm-hmm. We'll see. Probably not.
I would love to see that.
Wouldn't that be great? All of a sudden he's just like, not this time. Ah! All right, Jess, what's your next pick?
My next pick is one that we also talk about frequently, which is, of course, GLaDOS from Portal. Just iconic lines. The delivery, truly, of the lines, I think, is what makes that character so amazing. I won't go too into it, because, again, we've talked about GLaDOS a million times, but I felt like we had to have her on this list.
Well, she's the greatest. I mean...
Yeah, truly.
She might be the greatest. Like, actually, I mean, Sephiroth put up a fight, but GLaDOS is pretty awesome because she's so witty.
I think she's definitely the best written.
Yeah, I would definitely say that
on our list.
Yeah, I would say that for sure. She, Daria, have you played Portal? You need to play Portal. Now that
You would really like it.
Since you have your gaming PC, there was Portal actually got added to college curriculum. I have no idea if it's still there, but when we were doing the show initially, there was a big thing because it got added to college curriculum in certain places. But the original Portal 2 is great too, but if you only play one of them, the gameplay is great too. But what really I think is even better about it is the story that unfolds and like the humor of, of GLaDOS and the great song that she ends up singing at the end.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, I love GLaDOS. All right, Daria, next pick.
I will try to do this around the cat. The next one is the hiss from Control. And it's this malevolent resonance-based entity that essentially corrupts and takes over, very much like the Dark Presence, but in a very different way. Takes over the bodies of those who aren't utilitarians, like Jesse, or protected by the Hedron resonance that prevents the hiss from taking over the body of anybody. But it's these last two kind of things. I find that it's because we don't know a lot about exactly what the hiss is and where it came from. We know loosely where it came from, but sorry, George is swiping at my cup.
He's mad at you. You've done something. Or maybe the hiss has taken control.
But but the fact that there's I don't know. I feel like within the Control, there are so many different thresholds and planes of existence, and
it's a great.
It's just
game world,
and I love that they've built upon it with they've connected Alan Wake and into all of that. But I think that's also the freakier part of it is you can't see it.
What's really creepy is right when you said that there was in the background music, there was a laugh going. It's perfect timing.
But it's something that turns friends into enemies. And anybody who's not shielded from it, there's essentially no way to bring them back from it, which is the sad part. Now I guess we'll see the way the hiss compounds when
it's gonna be surprising.
Escaping the FBC and Control Resonant, but
it's gonna be surprising. That's all I know. As it always is.
I'm really, really excited for that. Just to get to delve into the world even more. All the collectibles, I would just go through and read.
Yeah, Control. I've the AAA modern. I mean, it's old, but it's relatively modern AAA titles. It's probably my favorite.
I would say 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's 7 years ago. It's almost a decade.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets worse. I saw that look. I know that look.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it'll get worse. Wait till you're making a video about your 40-year-old console.
But yeah, it's again not really too much to say about it, but yeah, the hiss.
It's great villain. I agree. Great villain collective. All right, this one's been mentioned. Someone actually just mentioned it on our Instagram as well. Ganon, and I'm meaning Ganon all of his forms because Eventually has the worst time. Yawn. he has different forms like Ganondorf, or Ganon proper. But Ganon was definitely, as a kid, was scary. He has this like pig-esque form, which is the classic, horror movie demon trope thing. So he works in that regard, but he's genuinely scary, and he's trying to summon, the ultimate power usually. And what's interesting, as I'm reading more about it, they still kind of have it, but Miyamoto really wanted this like the Triforce was supposed to be like kind of from like an ancient civilization that had advanced technology, which is such a fun narrative device. I always think it's a really fun, like the Lost Civilization is fun, such a fun story or narrative device and different things. But the Triforce was supposed to be like some lost technology from an ancient civilization that society had kind of gone backwards and stuff, and they're going back to get that. But Ganon himself was scary, and then in Zelda 2, when he laughs at you and you die, he's creepy, because the whole thing is Zelda 2 is pretty dark. He needs Link's blood. The followers of Ganon needs Link's blood to sprinkle on Ganon's ashes to resurrect Ganon. And so if you die, you see Ganon's face because he's been resurrected because you died. So yeah, Ganon's scary. He's a scary dude, and through all of his iterations, and when he becomes Ganondorf in Ocarina of Time, he's pretty creepy too. When he's talking to the king, and like the king is just like not realizing that he's talking to pure evil. It's just like, come on guys, you're literally talking to pure evil. Why can't you realize it? He's going to assume the throne. But tale as old as time. All right, Jess, what's your pick?
My next one is one I've also talked about a fair amount, which is, of course, Solas from Dragon Age. Never have I been so personally offended by his video game villain than as by him.
I love
my
it.
first playthrough, I was a female elf inquisitor that romanced him, and then you get to the end and he cuts off your arm and betrays you. And I literally waited a decade for Veilguard to come out, and for all of the critiques of that game, I got to kick Solas' butt, so I was happy with it. I was so mad, and it was so well done. Of like, I love the thing of like you having a dear friend that ends up like stabbing you in the back at the end, and it's like the complicated motivations, and he's such a deep and interesting character that I think was really well done, especially in Inquisition. Again, there's like some things to be said about Veilguard, which I won't get into, but I did think that they handled at least the Solas aspect of things in a very interesting way that I appreciated.
Very cool. Yeah, I need to catch up on the Dragon Age games again on my backlog.
Which ones have you played?
Oh my gosh, I'd have to open Steam, which I can't right now because you know how great I am with titles. But I do have a few of them that I've played.
Gotcha.
But it's been actually, maybe if I look at the release dates,
it's diminishing returns for sure. Inquisition is the third one. It came out in 2015, and then
so I've played Origins.
Which is the best one in my opinion.
I played the second one. I think I played
two.
I think I played Inquisition. I don't know how much I played Inquisition, but that was the last one I played.
Inquisition was a good game that unfortunately fell victim to the everything should be open world.
Yeah.
And it's not like full open world, but it's, I think, in some ways more open than it should be. And it's like one of the ones, like one of the big memes on the internet about it is like, do you do the main quest like 20% of the time, and 80% of the time is you just running around the hinterlands collecting elf fruit for no apparent reason and getting killed by bears. And so I think it could have benefited from being a little bit more streamlined, but still a really good game. And 4 had some problems, especially in the lore departments, in my opinion, but I thought it had actually really good gameplay that I very much enjoyed. So I still had a really good time with it. I know some people don't agree and thought it was horrible, but I enjoyed it. I think it's still worth picking up.
Well, I'm going to always trust your recommendations after the Pokemon thing. That's pretty much going to be forever.
Success.
Yeah, great success. Yeah, for sure. All right, Daria, what's your next?
My next one
pick?
is Toc-Man from Pac-Man.
Toc-Man?
From Pac-Man World. I don't know what else he's in, but there's this.
Oh,
You know who I'm talking about now?
yeah, I had to look him up. It's been a while since I played that game.
But yeah, so
He's scary.
He's kind of freaky looking.
Spooky man.
But just I remember like every time I'd play Pac-Man World, watch that opening like cutscene, where he goes and like just kidnaps all of Pac-Man's friends, and then that's like really what I guess that's you on your journey is like going to like save all of them. But it looks like not much to say about this one, but you literally go across the world to his. I can't remember.
Do you
exactly
know
what it was,
why he's named Toc-Man?
I don't.
It's not Taalk, it's TOC.
Yeah, TOC.
Takuma, which could be talk. I was looking at the Japanese. It's Takuma. I don't
I'm
know.
gonna say yeah.
He looks angry and scary.
Very mechanical too.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, been a while since I played that, but should probably revisit.
Yeah, and all his minions and the ghosts and everything, and yeah.
All right, well, back to another iconic Nintendo villain for me, and that is Mother Brain from Metroid. If you've ever seen Captain N, the cartoon, then you've seen a version of Mother Brain that's not at all kind of what Mother Brain should be as they are in the game. But I still remember, getting borrowing Metroid from someone, and my friend telling me that the boss was like a brain, and I kept trying to imagine what that would be. But Mother Brain, controls everything, and she's in this like glass container. And my favorite version of Mother Brain, though, is in Super Metroid. Anyone that's beaten Super Metroid, the ending of that game is so cool and intense, but you kind of think that you've beaten Mother Brain, but then she like goes nuts and attacks you, and you're basically dead. But then a Metroid, who are a lot of times have been your enemy, come and actually save you and give you like this super powerful weapon and everything, and you end up roasting Mother Brain, and then you have to escape, like you always do in Metroid, escape with the timer running down. So yeah, Mother Brain's mine. Do you guys like Mother Brain? You heard of Mother Brain? No.
Nope.
It's an old one.
Not so much.
Yeah.
I feel like I've probably heard of it, but I've not
Probably. Well,
encountered it.
Metroid hasn't been super relevant. I mean, they released Metroid 4, Prime 4, which people didn't seem to like. I liked. It's relevant to me. I don't know how relevant it is to people that like aren't already Metroid fans, but she's cool. I like her. All right, Jess, what's your next pick?
Well, before I get to that, I did Google it, and according to the wiki, Toc-Man is named after Namcot, in reverse spelling the Japanese division of Namco responsible for publishing Namco's games for home consoles.
And that is so interesting, because I always wondered what Namcot was, like in the because you'd see games on the NES, and some of them would say Namco and some of them would say Namcot, and it was like, you knew it was the same company. Why'd they put a T at the end? So that solves a mystery. 2 mysteries in one. Thank you.
There you go. Power of Google.
Yeah.
And then going on to my pick, I'm going to go with maybe a little bit of a weird one, which is Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal. I just appreciate a really crazy clown that is driving a murderous car trying to kill you. It's just such a fun and ridiculous concept. And I probably wouldn't have thought of it if it hadn't been for the new Twisted Metal TV show on Peacock, which has gotten very little press, considering the fact it stars Anthony Mackie and Stephanie Beatrice from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But that also, the show is so much better than it feels like it has any right to be. And if you enjoyed the Twisted Metal games back in the day, I actually highly suggest checking it out. And Sweet Tooth is hilarious in that as well. But it's just such a fun concept, and I felt like I had to put him on here.
Oh yeah, it's a great design, Sweet Tooth, and that was Shadow's first AI AIM screen name, Sweet Tooth, and because lots of people had it. It had 3s for the E's and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Oh yeah.
To get it, and probably 0s for the O. But yeah, Sweet Tooth was cool, and that's such an iconic PlayStation 1 image of the crazy clown. So
it was a fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. That also brings me down a weird rabbit hole. Have you guys, either of you, ever used AIM? Was that before your time? AOL Instant Messenger?
I
feel like I'm asking if you used a wheel.
No, I know what it is because we didn't have
fire good.
I didn't have an AOL account. My mom did, but I remember we didn't actually have internet, so we were just using dial-up, and I would try to watch YouTube
internet.
videos.
It's just very slow internet.
Well, I know, but internet, the speedy internet. And
I had dial-up for many years
because we lived too far out for any of the other services to be to provide any providers. And I would I would pull up a YouTube video of an episode of something I wanted to watch, just leave it to load, and then hopefully come back and it'll actually load. But yeah, I remember using dial-up a lot. And when I was younger too, just with different little games on the computer and all that.
What about you, Jess? Did you use AOL Instant Messenger at all?
I didn't. Other people I knew did, but my parents were a little bit stricter when it came to allowing us on the social internet side of things.
Probably for the best.
For the best. Yeah, so I didn't actually have one myself, but I was familiar with it.
Yeah. No, it was the biggest. Everyone had an AIM account, kind of like everyone has an Instagram or whatever now. And the only reason I even thought of it, I saw a video. There are people that, many years ago, reverse engineered the AIM protocol. And so people are now putting up their own AIM servers now. So you can actually use AIM again on not, since AOL is dead, but so I don't know. It's pretty cool. We used to,
That's fun.
Yeah, in the very early days of the show, we'd take some write-ins during AOL Instant Messenger. So. You know what? There was no algorithm with it, at least. So, in that way, it was a little better. But, all right. I think we're on Daria. What's your next pick?
So I cannot go at length at this one, but because it's a spoiler. But it's from Jedi Survivor, and if you've gotten to the end, you know who I'm talking about. And it's sad. But yeah, I can't say anymore.
Say more.
I don't want to. I don't.
Just kidding.
I don't want to spoil supper, but
no, I know.
It was it's a good, because I like the game.
Yeah.
And all the I would say mini bosses, but the other antagonist characters, Dagon Gera, even I think Terran Malicos in the first one, just really interesting characters. They're again, more antagonists than I would say like fully villains. I mean, they both like they both choose the other side, but but I love the way I really like their character design and like how they both try to appeal to Cal.
Cool. Again, another game I need to get to the end of.
Also has some of my favorite like I mean, you play her for a second, but one of my I love Marin in that game, in those games. She's one of the companions of Cal. She's a witch of Dathomir.
Cool.
Yeah. Not a villain, but very, very cool companion.
Still a little spooky. Hey, Seb the Sleeper. What's up?
Hello. Good to
Join
see
us-
you again.
Yeah, good to you joined us for the Pokemon yesterday. How's it going? I feel like we're like right on the cusp of some pretty cool Pokemon stuff because we're grinding now, which is fun, but I feel like we're about to get to some really cool stuff. I showed Maul, by the way, small break, the character that I named as him, and he was like, "I'm a ghost," which he was cool with. His favorite is Shuckle.
Yes. I love Shuckle. Shuckle's great.
He said, I was like, well, hopefully I get one of those. Maybe I'll name him Maul too. And he goes, yeah, he's terrible, but unkillable.
He is terrible, but I also adore him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And Max said he knows what you're talking about. I didn't use it, but my parents did. Yeah, I had some weird. Sometime we should do a show. Wait, the cabinet behind Jess opened when we were talking. Is there a ghost?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I saw it.
You've got to, after the experiences I've had, Jess, we got to talk about the mysterious opening cabinet. I just saw it on our little chat.
there's not a ghost. It's the cabinet is an antique that I bought secondhand that
Ghost.
I've been in the process of restoring. And it didn't come with the key. They lost the key.
Oh.
And so there's no way for me to like latch the thing at this point in time. And I think my plan is to get like a magnet so it'll like click in, and then I'm gonna like put on like knobs, and I think that will fix the problem. But as of right now, it just is kind of staying closed by sheer force of will, which clearly doesn't always work out. So it's
Okay.
Yeah, it creaked open.
I'm gonna have to
A little
scrub back
bit.
to that now. That's gonna be that's pretty cool. I like it. Okay. Oh, and it's fitting because my next pick is Dracula from Castlevania, and his many incarnations throughout the years. Sometimes having really bizarre sprites that don't really remind you in any way of Dracula, maybe a little bit, or maybe he's a floating head, or whatever, or maybe he asks, "What is a man?" but a miserable pile of secrets. Symphony of the Night's legendary horrific dialogue. But Dracula, I mean, I still love vampires, but as a kid, like, I thought vampires were like the coolest of the creatures of the night. I always wanted to be a vampire for Halloween, or even when it was Halloween, I wanted to be a vampire. So I just always thought vampires were the coolest. So Count Dracula, kind of king of the vampires in some lore, was really cool, and really cool drawings of him back in the day in the video game magazines. So, spooky vampires. All right, Jess, see if any of your furniture moves.
You're right. So my next pick, speaking of Pokemon, I'm going to go with In from Pokemon Black and White. And then also, of course, in the anime as well. He's really interesting because he's not like a straightforward villain, and he's one of the ones that like kind of has a point. which is that his whole thing is he grew up like very close with Pokemon, and he like has the ability to like kind of like telepathically like communicate and feel what they're feeling. And he believes that the way that humans interact with Pokemon is like exploitative. And so he heads Team Plasma. He's kind of more of a puppet head, though he doesn't really realize it. And his whole thing is that like there should be like separate worlds for Pokemon and humans, because humans don't deserve Pokemon, which is like really interesting. But then of course like he takes it too far, and then he's like separating Pokemon from their trainers that they love, and like again he's kind of like the shadow head of this actually evil team that just is interested in like stealing Pokemon and profiting off of it. But in general, Pokemon doesn't always do the best job with their villains. Like in a lot of ways, like that's kind of not the point. It's kind of just like general team of bad guys. They steal Pokemon and exploit Pokemon, and like that's pretty much the extent of it. And N was kind of like a really cool example of them like kind of like diving into it and attempting to interface with the idea that essentially we're like dogfighting, which has some ethical implications when you think too hard about it. I don't know how successful you could ever be about having that conversation, because if you really think about it, 10-year-olds running around making their pets fight each other is a little bit of a problematic concept. You kind of just have to accept and move on with to have a good time with the games.
But they're monsters.
But it wasn't interesting. They are monsters, and they don't die. They just pass out, and then you shove them in a machine at the Poke Center, and everything's fine.
Shake them around.
And you hear a really, really fun little jingle, and everything's fine. But I thought it was interesting, and he was an interesting character, and I always applaud them when they actually try to like go a little bit into story, because it's not necessarily something that Pokemon, especially like classic Pokemon, really concerned itself too much with.
Seb the Sleeper says N, he's not a villain, his father is. N just wants to release them.
Which is also true. He's not a villain, but he's unknowingly acting on behalf and furthering the agenda of the villains, which again is what makes them interesting.
Gen 3 and 4 were hardcore. You cannot be calling Politoed a monster. I don't know what Politoed is yet because I haven't gotten one, but
that's very true. That's very true.
And Seb also says Politoed is my perfect baby.
Agreed. You were correct.
Ribbit. Now I'm excited to get a Politoed. Nice. All right, Daria.
So this is kind of, it's headed by an entity. It's from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but I cannot say who. But the Cult of Cosmos, from Odyssey. They have this web of members that permeate all industries and areas of society for power and control, and just how the complexity of how far it stretches, and how far you have to track down these people. Was actually like one of my favorite parts of Odyssey, is just trying to that discovery, like who is really behind all of this. And I loved playing as Cassandra in that game. But yeah, I mean, can't really go at length, but the Cult of Cosmos as a whole.
Cool.
I feel bad I can't say a lot of these, but
well, I like how different ours are. I mean, I'm kind of going way back, and then you and Jess are more modern, but with different picks, which was cool. Oh, Jess has a couple coming up that people have mentioned in the chat, which is cool. All right. My next one is actually a real human being that was in a game. Mike Tyson. Yeah, for Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Mike Tyson, again, they didn't pay him much, but he was like impossible to beat, like as a kid, and still very difficult. He's super, super difficult to beat in that game. And it's just an imposing figure. And the advertisement with him, I think they had him play that game in the last several years on one of the late night shows, and he couldn't beat the first level of the game, like the real Mike Tyson. I also have kind of a funny like Mike Tyson story. One of my friends was at an airport with their child, and the child was like wanting this candy bar, and he was like, "Come on, mom, like give me, I want this candy bar," blah, blah, you know. She's like, no, we can't get it. And he asked again, and you heard this voice, like, and Mike Tyson's voice is pretty recognizable. He'll go, "Come on, lady, just get him the candy bar." She turned around, and it's like Mike Tyson, and he was super nice to both of them, took a picture with them, and was just very friendly. I don't know, you've seen interviews with Mike Tyson, and sometimes he can be very scary. But at this particular instance, he was very nice and friendly. So yeah, I think and Seb asked who'd win. I think Tyson always wins at Prime Tyson.
Yeah,
he could, like, I mean, I don't know anything about boxing, so I'm like the worst person to ask, but just like seeing what I've seen, it looks like he like would destroy people. So I wouldn't want it. My head would probably just like fly off if he hit me in the head. But Mike Tyson, scary in real life, scary in the game. All right, Jess.
So my next one is probably my favorite villain from when I was a kid, because it was probably my favorite game that we consistently played as a kid, which is Dr. Cortex from Crash Bandicoot. His character design is so much fun. I love a mad scientist. I love it when villains have like insane, convoluted plans and traps that don't work out. And Crash Bandicoot was like one of my favorite games as a kid. It was like one of the go-to for like me and my brother. So I always remember him, and just like the distinctive again character design I think was so much fun. Yeah,
for sure. And just wacky. He reminds me of, he like should be in like a Nicktoon or something. Just from like that era.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So very cool. Very cool. Have you played the remakes?
I haven't. I need to. But I haven't gotten around to those yet.
There's a pretty cool video on how Crash Bandicoot is pretty amazing technically. You should check it out. It's on YouTube.
Check that out. Yeah,
you should check it out.
Yeah, I played Crash Bandicoot Entranced on my Game Boy. Like, my sister and I play that all the time. All the time. And you ran into a lot of the different villains.
Yeah.
So.
No, those games were so much fun. Like you said, wacky and it's just a good time.
Probably my favorite advertisement too, from the first one.
Oh yeah,
Crash in front of Nintendo headquarters. "Hey, plumber boy, your days are numbered." So I mean, and
it
like
was so unhinged back then.
Yeah, and like the time in which they did it too was like perfect. I show that in the video game class every time. But yeah, all right, great pick. So we're on to Daria now.
Yes.
Which is your pick, Daria?
I was trying to think about all the games that that I've played, and like some of my favorite games, and they don't really like have like singular villains. Like, I feel like the ones that like have stuck out to me the most are a lot of the ones that I've said thus far, or they're part of like licensed like games. And they're all figures that we all like know. But like in Star Wars and whatnot. But yeah, I don't actually have another one right now. I honestly kind of.
You don't know any more video game villains? There's like a million villains. Pick one.
I know, but I'm trying to like. I've been looking through my games, and I was like, I don't actually know.
Voldemort.
I didn't actually. Well,
you played the Harry Potter game.
Licensed ones.
You can say licensed ones. Yeah. Mike Tyson's a licensed one. He was licensed. He's just a real person.
Yeah. I'll just say then.
We can always come back too, but there's so many villains.
Let me add.
Just put some in a hat and pick one.
Let me add some. Not that we are okay with including licensed stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, any villain's fine. I'm gonna go to my next one, the Duck Hunt dog, because he laughs at you and it's it's very frustrating when you that game in general is really, really fun, but can be super, super irritating to shoot that duck. That Duck Hunt was cool because it was a game that, growing up, anyone in my family could play it, even if they had no interest in games, because you point the thing at the screen and shoot. You didn't have to really have, any skill beyond that. I mean, that's hand-eye coordination, but you didn't have to be a gamer to play it. But yeah, the dog in Duck Hunt, I don't know what else to say about him. He's iconic and annoying, like any good villain should be. All right, Jess, what's your next one?
My next one, I felt like I had to get at least one classic Nintendo one in here, and so I settled on King Boo.
Woo!
Which I also love all things spooky. And in honor of the ghost that's apparently taken up in my room, it feels fitting. And he's really cool character design, and I think he's simultaneously adorable, but also a little creepy. And I just think it was a fun one. He's probably my favorite go-to if we're talking the villains of Mario. He's one of my favorites.
Nice. Yeah, I love King Boo. I've always liked the ghost. I like when ghosts are in games. And Max mentioned him earlier because he was the one I thought I was going to mention when your ghost cabinet opened.
We were getting there.
Seb the Sleeper says, Jess, your house is Luigi's mansion in real life.
I would take that.
Yeah.
Just get me a vacuum sweeper and we'll be good.
Yeah, I know I've mentioned this to you guys. I don't know if I mentioned it on the modern incarnation of the show, but we did have a legit ghost back in the day, and there's one particular show that we were still trying to track down which show it was because the transcripts don't have it in there. Hopefully the show didn't vanish, but there was a show we did. It seemed to be around the 05-06 time because I think Maul was on, but we're doing the show and look, we had a chat log similar to this, but it's on IRC, and people were like, who is that? What is that? And I don't know. And I watched or I listened later, and you get to this part of that particular show and you hear it kind of cut out. But you hear us in the background still, but right up against the mic, you hear, help me. And it's that exact cadence. Help me.
Nope.
We need to find that.
I know. I want to find it so badly. And, it could be getting a radio broadcast or something, or who knows what it was picking up. But it's just really crazy because Richie and I were literally having a conversation about God knows what. And all of a sudden it literally is it's kind of help me. Exactly. Almost. That's probably pretty close actually. But not my voice. Spooky. So when I can find it, I'll play it for everybody. It's gonna be a while though. We have 700 shows to go through.
It's a lot.
So, Daria, did you find?
So yeah, going off of because I have the Harry Potter games in a few different platforms, and so I'm gonna say Voldemort, but specifically from the Goblet of Fire Game Boy Advance game, because of the music for that game, the music that plays during that sequence, during it, you're through some of it, you're doing some key combinations and stuff like that to get through it. But I remember when I first played it, I remember like sitting in the back seat of the car, trying to see it, and just like the music was so intense when I was like, for me, like at that point, and when I was little, and it's just always stuck with me, like just that particular feeling. So I mean, Voldemort from that particular Game Boy Advance game.
Was it a Game Boy Advance SP that you're trying to see? Because the one before that, you literally had to be sitting on the sun to see. Like the screen, there was no light on it.
Oh, actually, wait, no, it was that first one. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You should check out, you should go back to the Penny Arcade archives or search, because there's a really hilarious one where Tycho's like trying to like move a lamp like exactly to be able to see it. And I think he eventually like sits on the sun. Because man, that was...
So I remember like angling towards the window to like to be able to see it.
Yeah, I still don't know how that passed QC.
But
sold crazy well though. When you could see it, it was a lot of fun. And then the SP came out, and that was super fab.
Much better.
Super fab. All right, going on to my next one. This one is kind of in memory of Logan, and kind of just because I wanted him here. But Dr. Robotnik / Eggman is, you know, also like a super iconic villain, and I think really well played by Jim Carrey in the movies. I was a little kind of with that pick when I saw it, but well done. But yeah, Dr. Robotnik, the kind of bizarre looking mustached man, very circular on all of his appendages, coming up with crazy things. But Seb the Sleeper says Master Hand and Crazy Hand. Nobody brings up Bomberman villains. Oh, and he says my goat, Eggman. Yeah, Eggman's great. I love the boss fights in the Sonic games. They're so much fun. They're so creative. Every single one, Sonic 1 through 3. And then Mania 2. And then in Sonic CD, he has a really creepy laugh. He's like... Sonic Adventure Eggman is the best. Eggman has the master plant. Yeah. I like Sonic Adventure. Sonic Adventure is great. I played it on 9,999. Also, Metal Sonic is a menace. Oh, Metal Sonic. Well, if I can add another, if we get to it, I'll add Metal Sonic to the bottom of my list. But, all right, Jess.
Well, since it was just brought up, I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead in mine and talk about the Master Hand, Super Smash Bros. It was such an irritating boss battle for me with the old school GameCube game. It doesn't feel like it should be as much of a nightmare as it is to like beat, and just because of like the hand motions and everything, like they were able to get it like so expressive and feel like it was like mocking you really well, and just like the fear of that like thing like coming down to like smash you, I think was a lot of fun. And for a game that like isn't like really story driven, it was definitely a very fun bad guy to be fighting against.
Yeah, really fun, but also super irritating, just like you said.
Yeah, no, and I hadn't thought about it in forever, and I was literally reminded about it this weekend while we were playing, and it like showed up because we played Smash Bros. And I was like, oh, and immediately just like the flashbacks and the irritation was immediately there. And I was like, that's the sign of a good or really bad, but I think in this case good video game villain. Yeah,
I hadn't played Smash Brothers in years. I love it, but I just hadn't played it for years. So very cool. I don't know why I made that lyric face. I'm an Eakins doing Lear. That's what I'm doing. See what you've done, Jess?
Welcome to the dark side.
Doing the dark side. All right, Daria, do you think of another villain?
I mean, I felt like with the Force Unleashed, I mean, it's either like Vader, Palpatine, like...
Well, pick one of them. I mean...
I know.
You did the other Star Wars game. That's technically licensed.
Yeah, but there were multiple I was specific about that one.
You can do Darth Vader. He's like the greatest villain of all time.
But he fits a couple games.
Well, just pick one.
He's the villain. But
King Boo is in like 8 Mario games, and Jess did him.
But yeah, no, Darth Vader then.
He's gonna come in the back and choke you for saying his name so disappointingly. I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I was actually just thinking like his entrances in these, like in a lot of the games, are like really intense.
When you get to play as him in one of them, that first level, that's like ridiculous.
That's right. I forgot about
first
that.
First Force Unleashed.
I was also thinking about like just as a like, because you're in like the Inquisitor, dealing with the Inquisitors and all of that, and Jedi Fallen Order, just I don't know, just the presence of him when he appears is I feel like it does him a lot of justice. I don't want to add too many details because I don't want to spoil any.
I mean, the game did come out like 20 years ago. It did. Force Unleashed, wasn't it like 2000?
Sorry. I was talking about Fallen Order right there.
Oh, with Darth Vader? Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess I was talking about Force Unleashed.
I did mention Force Unleashed because like that's Regal.
Earthquake.
Because that was like one of the other like games, standalone games that I'd played. But since he kind of fits across a couple different ones, I love the way that he's introduced in the Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor games, particularly.
Yeah.
I know that doesn't really like add a whole lot, but if you know, you know.
Well, I think Darth Vader's pretty cool. So, you know, anytime he exists, I'm a fan.
Sometimes I feel bad that a lot of I haven't played a whole lot of games that a lot of people have played.
That makes your picks more unique.
Mm-hmm. So
everyone kind of brings different picks. That's the beauty.
Yeah, I grew up playing a lot of licensed games. We didn't have a Nintendo or anything like that, so I didn't really. What?
I said no one's perfect.
Thanks.
You had a Game Boy. That's a Nintendo.
Yeah.
But licensed games are fine. I mean, I've really gotten to the point with games where I don't really judge unless, I mean, for the most part, I don't really judge the games people play. If they play them and enjoy them, then to me, that's a good game. Same way for me with like movies. Like if someone watches a movie and they get an emotional reaction they're happy with, what am I to say that that's not good? Right?
Yeah.
So if you like licensed games, you like to be interactive with licensed properties, what's wrong with that?
I'm gonna say then a lot of the Lord of the Rings, like War in the North game, and the actual like
some of the Lord of the Rings games are great. The Shadow of Mordor is phenomenal.
I haven't played through,
but don't say all your villains on one round because we have a couple more rounds.
I didn't say my villain. I just said another game.
We have a couple more rounds to go. But no, licensed characters are totally fine. Totally fine.
Also, like, there were just so many licensed games when we were growing up. Like, they were everywhere. They, like dominated everything.
Like, in my PlayStation, like, my little, like, zipper thing, like, there's Hercules, there's The Lion King. Just all of those, like, for, like...
Everything had a game.
Yeah.
Literally everything.
And I get like the Harry Potter games on like on the Game Boy, like those were the things that were familiar to me. So those were the things that they either came with the game combo or a game package, or I would ask for those ones because I didn't know about any of the other ones that were out there. So it was usually just trying to find, like, or I think some other ones on Game Boy, Teen Titans.
Oh yeah, that was
Teen
a good one.
Titans.
Teen Titans. That's cool.
But yeah.
It's all fine. It's all cool. Said the Sleeper says, Breakman, did you make that BLT yet? No, I have not had a chance to make the BLT yet, but I did talk about it with my wife last night. So yeah, I went upstairs and my daughter and kids had eaten all the food I had smelled for an hour and a half. So I ended up having something else. I was pretty bummed.
Oh no.
I know. So, which is, it's fine. But yeah, I do need to get a BLT. I've been craving it ever since Seb the Sleeper made one yesterday during our Pokemon Let's Play.
You're gonna have to report back when you finally do.
I will. I'll report back on the BLT findings. A good BLT, you gotta have the right bread. You gotta have fresh tomato. BreakmanX makes the best bacon. She'll be making the bacon. But all right, my next pick, which has been mentioned on the chat a couple times, but I'm gonna list them as a combo. But Shao Kahn and Shang Tsung. I'm gonna list them as a duo. Because they are kind of connected. And, in the first Mortal Kombat, Shang Tsung's like 1,000,000 years old, like he's super old. And then all of a sudden in the next one, he's very young. And they explain it, that he's sucked souls and things. But, it's just that they're interesting villains in that they're so over the top and campy. But they just fit that world so well. Like Shao Kahn is like legitimately scary. He's a legitimately scary dude. And then Shang Tsung, I just remember like thinking as a kid, like, oh, he could steal your soul. And then you're just like, in that first Mortal Kombat movie, your soul is mine. That's so scary.
You say that all the time.
I did?
Yeah.
I still say it all this time.
I think it was when I watched the movie with you guys. Like, I remember that was one phrase that you said over and over.
I love it. It's stuck with me as a kid. He gets really intense too. He's like, your soul is mine. Shang Tsung. That's my pick. All right, Jess, you're up.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with another one that's kind of a little bit in honor of Logan since he isn't here. Freddy Fazbear from Five Nights at Freddy's. I think Five Nights at Freddy's was such a genius concept because who didn't grow up going to pizza places with animatronic animals that were just maybe like a little bit terrifying? And I think the mechanism with which Five Nights at Freddy's went, which is the idea, especially the first one at least, was that like you were stuck and all you could do was like close the door, was like so terrifying. And the jump scares, even when you know they're coming, are still like horror. Like you can be sitting there and being like, I know I'm about to die. And you're still gonna jump when like Freddy pops up and like screams at you. And I think it was so well done and a lot of fun. And, I fell off probably after maybe 2 or 3. I haven't played any of the new ones, but I think that first one especially is just like a really solid, simple horror game that's very effective.
That song was a staple at our house. I think you know the one I'm talking about.
I think I do, yeah.
I don't want it to come up because I will not be able to get it out of my head for a very long time. But it was very prevalent. Very prevalent. All right, Daria.
I have another one. It's been a while since I have played it, but Darth Malak from
Oh,
Knights of the
great
Old Republic.
pick.
I'd forgotten about it, but I do have like a story about like actually playing through this. I first played through it on the Xbox. It was like the Xbox One. And apparently there was a bug that if you got to a certain point and hadn't saved, like I could hear things, but I couldn't see anything. It was just a black screen. And so I had to completely like start over. because I couldn't go back. I couldn't do anything. And so, but once I actually got through the game, one, it was like, I really loved like just the experience of playing it. It was very different than anything I'd played up to that point. But the way that they kind of built out this world and like his character and other characters was really, really cool.
Yes, for sure. That's such a great game. That's also the game that broke my original Xbox. I was, that game, like, you really get into the story, right?
Yeah.
And I played, and I was finally kind of like being okay with the Xbox, and I was playing that game, and it literally, my Xbox broke while I was playing it, and I didn't beat it for like over a decade because I was so mad that the Xbox broke during it. And the one I have now is the one that replaced that one, but with all the saves transferred. And luckily, that one didn't break.
Yeah, I think I was so frustrated. Like, I didn't even play it again on the Xbox One. I got the mobile version and played it on my phone. There's
a mobile version?
That's how I played through the whole thing after that happened.
That is insane. It's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's a mobile version about everything now, but wow.
But I mean, it was like pretty much similar. Just some of the different, obviously, controller mechanics difference, but
the best version is still the Xbox original, though. And it's different. It's different on the original Xbox than it is on like the Xbox One. Probably only I'm gonna care, but it's cool to go back and play it on the original hardware because that came out. That was a really big deal. BioWare, all the underlying mechanics of how the battles and everything work. Very cool, and the story.
And I was saying, characters and like the places you get to explore, and kind of just I don't know. I liked a lot of it. I'd play that again. I need to play the second one too. I have it. I just need to play through it.
Yes, you do need to play. Is it on your phone?
No, I think that one. Well, I don't have an Xbox One anymore, but I had that one on my parents' Xbox.
It's
One.
on Steam, and it usually it'll go on sale for like $2.
Cool.
So you can get it on Steam. And the Steam version, there's tons of mods that you can get to make it pretty amazing. That actually might be the best way to play it, actually, because with the mods that you can get, you can make it amazing. And also, it's been a while since I've played KOTOR 2, but I believe that one was not like unfinished, but was kind of rushed and didn't quite get the love that it deserved. And the mods and things kind of resolve and help the rough edges and things. Yeah,
that's cool.
A lot of love from the community.
That's cool.
for both of them, actually. But all right, this is probably almost for sure going to be my last pick. Psycho Mantis, Metal Gear Solid. I remember the top. I think was I a freshman in high school when I played this? I think so. The first time I played it, I didn't get far enough. When I rented it, but later on I remember it was like the talk of everybody how it would move your controller around, and how cool that, and I know I've mentioned it before, but that still was such a bizarre thing that you put your controller on the floor and he moves it around. Just an iconic, very Hideo Kojima event in a game, and really cool. And I'm going to add another one just because we're almost out of time. Metal Sonic. That's for you, Seb the Sleeper. Because Metal Sonic is awesome. I love Sonic CD and then all the other games that Metal Sonic has such a cool design, and racing him is fun. So Metal Sonic, very cool for you, Seb the Sleeper. Jess, what's your last pick?
I think for my last pick, I'm going to go with Pyramid Head from Silent Hill.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's such an iconic character design. It's so like unsettling and creepy, and then the narrative function and the like everything it represents of like guilt and grief and all of this stuff, I think is just so iconic. I love Silent Hill so much, and the Pyramid Head truly is like the thing of nightmares, and I respect it greatly.
Yeah, it's a good pick. BreakmanX just played through, or is playing through Silent Hill. Actually, I think he beat it. And I wanted to make a correction here. The Sleeper said Neo. He meant to type Neo Metal Sonic, who I think first appearance is in Sonic Heroes. If I remember right, that's my first time I remember seeing him. Hope I'm not wrong on that. But anyway, super souped up version. Kind of like Toc-Man, actually.
Yeah, very sick. Very sick character design.
So, all right, Daria, last pick of the evening.
And trying to think here. Oh, let me look at how his name is pronounced. But
big countdown here. Daria's last
essentially,
pick.
I think it's Agendour, main antagonist of War in the North. He's a descendant of Numenorians who were servants of Sauron. Yeah, pretty formidable figure and
Nice pick.
pretty freaky looking, but yeah.
My precious. Very nice pick.
So.
All right, well that's it. That's the show. We talked through some really cool villains. It was really fun to talk to you tonight. And lots of fun interaction from the audience too, which was really cool. So, Jess, what's going on this week besides fixing your cabinet?
Yeah, fixing the cabinet. I wish the answer was sleep, but I've got like
that would be a good answer.
Little mini trip planned for this weekend, which will be fun. I'm gonna go see some old friends, hang out. Yeah, just kind of getting reacclimated to being back in the Midwest, where it's 100 million degrees all the time.
It is 100 million degrees.
Yeah,
and like today especially was like,
it was gross.
Yeah,
The air just feels heavy.
Yes. Oh, and real quick, because the Sleeper just asked in chat, Pokemon Crystal when? It should be every Tuesday going forward at 5 p.m. Central Time. We should be back on schedule, and it should be pretty consistent.
yes, and I'm excited. It's a lot of fun. It's a whole new world.
I'm very excited. You have... There's some interesting narrative things that are about to happen in the next town that we get to. And then after we get through that one to the third gym, I'm very excited. I know Fenris wants you to be like prepped and ready to go. And I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I also kind of want to like throw you to the wolves because I feel like you need to experience the nightmare that is this gym. Because it was the bane of my existence as a child. So we'll see how...
I'll have some coffee ready.
We'll see how prepped we want to have you for that one.
I'll have some coffee ready. And Daria, how about you?
This Saturday we are going to go see The Odyssey in IMAX in Kansas City.
Nice.
And my goal is to get through Alan Wake 2.
Well,
Nice.
with Jack's return, he'll be excited for that.
So, like, I've been pretty, like, hooked on it and really, really want to get through it.
Well,
Just to, like, figure out the story, too.
for sure. Well, I just want to give a huge thank you out to all y'all that came to my place for the fun party last weekend. That was so much fun to be able to hang out with everybody, and all the other stuff that went on too. Was pretty amazing. Lots of cool stuff from us in the future. Just seems like a very exciting time. And with that, I'll see you same time next week on the game show.